pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. The meeting will please come to order. We have proof of posting in accordance with Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code as amended, known as the Texas Open Meetings Act. Any members of the public who wish to speak shall each have 3 minutes. Mr. Morgan?
Good morning. I have a document, EPA public access, just one page. It talks about noise act and it's still in place even though it's not funded at the federal level. So they said the local level can generate the rule on noise. Where there's an arrow there on the top part, it says EPA does not have any regulatory authority governing noise in local communities. You should consult your local government, city or county authorities to see if there are local or state laws that might apply to your situation. In addition, many states run noise control programs. To contact your state environmental agency for more information. And on further down, talks about other sources of noise. In the past, EPA coordinated all federal noise control activities through its Office of Noise and Control. However, in 1981, the administration at that time concluded that noise issues were best handled at the state or local government level. As a result, the EPA phased out the office's funding in 1982 as part of a shift in federal noise control policy. Transfer the primary responsibility of regulating noise to state and local governments. The Noise Control Act of 1972 and the Quiet Communities Act of 1978, however, were not rescinded by Congress and remain in effect today, although essentially unfunded. So this is telling us that the federal government is not going to handle it. You local guys and state guys can handle it. So we can take action on noise because the federal level delegated down to us. So I'd like to see us implement the noise control for Freestone County. And it looks to me like we can do that. And going to our state legislature here, she's not going to do a thing because she's afraid of oil and gas and get her unelected. I think that's why she's not acting.
Thank you.
I've tried to act on it. She says, I never got anything back from her. 2 letters in 2 different years. Yeah.
Well, I have sent information to her office, and I have talked to them several times, and they are looking into it. That's all the information I have at this time. Thank you.
I can also add that I do have a call into Kathy Keels at the Railroad Commission, who's an attorney for the Railroad Commission, just to see if on the Natural Resource Code in section 81066, which is what's talked about in the Attorney General's opinion that we received, that our district attorney received, to see if there's anything, but there's nothing about noise in that. And so this document you brought today, it talks about the state environmental agency. The Railroad Commission is over the oil and gas. So until they can amend it in their their annual plan to show noise, that should be the next step.
Thank you. Anyone else? If not, we'll go to item number 1, which is to approve the minutes of the October 8th meeting. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, sir.
I want to know, how do we go about getting Church Street fixed? I mean, it's been for years, it's like a discrepancy, and it's in our precinct. But it's a city street, so the city says, well, it's a county road. It is, and the county says, well, it's a state grant. Well, I think if we all work together, maybe we could, you know, they're over there working on the road right now. Might could get them to do the construction, but it is a city street. We need to get with the city. What's your suggestions on this? Because a lot of traffic goes down that road. You know where I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
If it is in the city limits, then we cannot work on it. But if it is outside the city limits, even though they say it's Church Street, if it's outside the city limits, then that would be considered county.
I don't know where the city limits runs that
I'm not sure
direction.
either. Yes, sir.
You know, it's there. It's right there somewhere, but I'm not sure. I think it's right on this side of the overpass, but not really sure about that.
I'll look and see where the city limit stops. We just went through an ordeal on what used to be County Road 606, which is Utley Lane.
Yes.
So from Highway 75, in that church right there is wanting to get some stuff done. And it appears, without a survey, that the middle of that road is the line. So half of that road, the south side of that road's in the county.
That's kind of what I was
the north side's in
thinking.
the city. So it's Church Street's gonna be different. Your stop-start point is gonna be probably right up to the overpass like you're talking about.
Yeah.
And we do that on County Road 660, and then we do it on County Road, what's our other one?
691.
691, where we take care of between Highway 75 and to the approach of the ramp. And if we need to do that on Church Street, we can, but like the judge said, we can't do it inside the city limits. I called Stanley and asked him about 606. He said that in his time here, that they never ever maintained that road. And of course, we know
According
the
to
city
this, it's
has.
inside city limits, the whole thing, all the way to the interstate.
Okay.
Mhm.
But
So
nobody had ever approached me about Church Street being a county
A
road.
lot of traffic goes down that street. You know, it's just a million patched potholes
And
is what it is.
with the new exit, it's gonna get worse.
Exactly.
Get more traffic.
There used to be an old man that worked for the city, and every evening he would go down there and patch those holes, you know, and that's all that's left now.
It's a solid patch.
Yeah, it's on the edge.
It's a million potholes.
I cut through there all the time and it just,
Yeah, I know.
but I keep thinking with the new exit below there, people's gonna be peeling off.
What do y'all suggest I do? I mean, they're out there working on the ramps and stuff. Might get them to help.
Yeah.
Go talk to the city.
It should be the city's responsibility.
Yeah.
You been to city council?
What?
Have you met with the city council on it?
No, this is my first stop, trying to see where we need to head with this.
Right.
Because it's been a big discrepancy, state, county, city, state, county, city. Everybody puts the monkey on everybody's back, you know. Here, you take the monkey for me. No, I
I'm
don't
gonna
want
say
the
it's the
monkey.
city.
Where do I go to talk to
We
the
will look
city?
at it and talk to some people at the city and see if we can get that resolved. We sure will.
Okay,
Okay.
good.
As in, maybe you and me.
Okay. I know who to call. Said I do know who to call.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. All right. Anyone else? All right. We will go to item number 1, which is to approve the minutes. We have a motion.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of October 8th, 2024 special meeting.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, aye. Motion carried. Item number
Picture
2,
of it, it's got all the dates.
budget transfers and amendments. We have one. Do we have a motion?
Make a motion to move to one budget transfer.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Motion carried. Item number 3, approve and pay the bills. I think we have 2 sets.
Three.
3 sets. It's 3 sets.
Sheriff, I just have to ask this question. Do we still have a sheep or not?
Yes,
We do?
yeah, nobody we can know.
I
That
just
one's from you, that was down off 49 from you, or?
I just just saw one of the bills where we paid them $47.50 for some sheep, I just make sure we still have it.
Yeah,
Were they over towards interstate?
they were on the interstate.
Okay, because we had some in Freestone,
Two
and I
wrecks.
know who those are.
Yeah, there was 2 wrecks, cause,
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I shut down the interstate.
we shut down the interstate to get them off the median. They're right in the middle.
Who called them?
Cut roper right there.
I wonder where they gotta be somebody right there.
And somebody, in case anybody's got any leads, somebody threw out a dead sheet at one of Brownie Ellie's gates down there in Keachai Bottom yesterday morning. I mean, they could have done it in the bar ditch, they could have done it in the creek, but they threw it right there where you gotta get out and unlock the gate.
Oh, that's something.
Black-headed sheep. Any leads?
Was it
Go
hit?
sheriff.
Might have been hit. Might have been another one that got hit.
And there ain't nobody
Yeah.
got nothing like it down there.
We've had a set of sheep roaming around Freestone, the community, for about a year and a half now, but they're staying in a little better now. They, you look up.
Well, that was these were out about, these were out about 3 weeks before we could get them somewhere.
Where y'all sell them at?
I'll probably just have a sheriff's sale for them. I've already had contacts, that way we don't have to haul them anywhere.
Yeah.
They're gonna say Hamilton, or I don't know if Waco still says it or not. I think they do.
I've already
They
had
sell
people
some in
ask.
Buffalo. And they're running cheap to the rain. I went bring it down there.
I don't know if they ever brought it down there.
But in Athens does too.
You heard me yesterday, I forget. Andy found it down there for me.
I don't think my best looks like that. I think you're right.
I thought mine was thicker. But I didn't print front and
I'm
back.
showing out with helicopters and all that kind of. You know.
I make a motion to approve the pay the bills.
Second.
All in favor, aye? Any opposed? No, motion carried. Item number 4 is to approve payroll.
It's going your way, you gotta sign it on the second sheet too.
It's going. Do we have a motion?
Yes, ma'am, I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second?
I second.
All in favor, aye? Any opposed? None, motion carried. Item number 5 is reports. All right, we have in your sick leave pool quarterly report for July 1st through September 30th. We did have hours that were awarded during that period. September report for the county clerk. Senior services. Extension. Anyone else have a report?
There should be one judgment on the,
Any other reports? If not, do we have a motion to accept the reports?
I'll make it motion.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Item number 6, burn ban.
No action.
No action. Number 7, road use agreements, anyone? No action. Item number 8, approve bonds and education certificates. No action. Item number 9, discuss and consider approving recommendation of the Selection Review Committee to award by resolution a contract with Trailer and Associates, Inc. for administrative services pertaining to the application and implementation, if awarded, of the county's 2025-2026 Texas Department of Agriculture, Texas CDBG grant, and authorizing the execution of a contract for the Freestone Water, South Freestone Water. Yes, ma'am.
This year, we're looking at doing a new pressure station and pressure tanks and booster station from Plum Creek area to the Langley tanks and shallow tanks that we have there plant, which is basically the Langley area all the way down to Burleson Lake. It's the service area that it covers. TCEQ's required us to put in new pressure pumps and upgrade them for capacities, and also we went forward with the project that we tried a couple of years ago, and we're trying to get that finished up right now. We went forward with that out of our pocket, so it's real important that we try to get this grant this time to do the rest of the work in that area. And this year it's going to be $750,000. So they did increase it. So we feel like we can get a little more done at one time this way if we can get this grant.
I sat in on a committee down there, and we scored the applicants, week before last, and Charlie and Associates scored the highest out of the three. Will, you wanna make a motion on this?
Yeah.
Because I hate to make a motion on it, being I was on that committee.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I was just seeing what we needed to,
You make it, I'm saying,
I make a motion, I don't know how I need to state, how do I need to state this?
To award by resolution a contract with Trailer and Associates.
Yeah. I wanna make that motion.
second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you. That would really be a lifesaver. On this second resolution, I don't know if you looked at those, but on that second, down at the bottom, where it says that the county of Freestone is committing to provide $15,000 in matching funds, but then right after it says to be paid by South Freestone County Water Supply Corporation. So if that number catches your eye.
I believe everything has to be routed through the county at once.
Yes, ma'am, it does. That would be through the auditor's office. All right. Item number 10 is to adopt a tax abatement policy. Okay, we do have some. Probably still are on the desk. Okay. Since we're just looking at this today, let me see what's the next. Since we're just going to be looking at this for the first time today, why don't we table this to the next meeting, and that way y'all have opportunity to read it and,
Yeah.
yeah.
I noticed in the newspaper two more,
Two more solar bills.
yeah. What are they called,
We're gonna meet on, at the next meeting.
yeah.
Yeah.
One's for Hunt Ranch down there, and, the other one says Ratcliffe Family Investments.
Yeah.
That'd be,
One
that'd
other-
be-
That's where
that'd
it typically, where it says that, where it would typically say the solar company.
be, yeah. Well, we've already, that's the one that's been in the works
That's
the
been,
longest.
that was the bar seat.
One of the
That's
first ones. Yeah.
Yeah. Reinvestment zone, that's the word I was looking for.
Reinvestment, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's number 7 and number 8, we've done 6, that's number 7 and 8 that's in the newspaper.
And there's two more, but I know of, but one of them in here pretty soon,
Right,
75.
yeah.
All right, we'll go to item number 11, which
Judge,
is,
we need to vote on the table. Yeah, we would just table it.
did we have a motion and a second?
No.
Yeah, I'll make a motion we table.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Yeah.
Thank you. Item number 11, to accept the resignation letter from Catherine Jackson as president of the CPS board.
This is a letter that she gave the board that she wanted
All right. Says, first, I want to thank you all for all of your dedication and commitment to the children in foster care in Freestone County. They will never know you, but you have impacted their lives nonetheless. For me, the blessings I have received in helping to make their lives better have been far greater than I could ever have imagined. So it is with full heart of gratitude for a time well spent that I announce that I will be resigning from the board effective October 31st. And it is an honorable task that we give to these people that are on the CPS board. And I know that they need more members and people that are willing to be on the board and to step up and help, because they do a great service. Beth is on the board, and who else that works for the county is on the board?
Jeannie's on there for now, but this next time she'll be resigning.
Mhm.
So I I don't know that there's anybody else. We do have some within the county that are interested, and their background checks are being done right now.
Maybe we could get some of our newer people that have joined us that would like to do some community service. It is a great opportunity to serve, it sure is. All right. And we thank Catherine for her service. Did you have a motion on that?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Item number 12 is approval for the text pool account to put Mandy Chambers on the account.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you. Shall I sign it? Please look at that and tell me.
Signature. Yeah.
Well, the way it looks though, maybe it was supposed to be below that. I couldn't really tell which slide it's supposed to be in.
It's fine.
It'll be fine, yeah. Item number 13 is to appoint the election judges and clerks. I believe you have a printout of those. We have a motion to appoint these election judges and clerks.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Motion carries. And do we have a list of how many clerks can be appointed by each election judge?
I do, it's at the office, and we've already started on a list of clerks and helpers we're gonna have during this election coming up. So I do have a list.
Well, are these election judges, have they already been trained on the machine?
Every one of those judges have their certificates from ES&S. They've taken their actual course online, poll workers courses. All of those judges there.
Item number 14, discussion of the ARPA funds.
I'll check my email to make sure that I only got one quote on the truck for 911 services.
How many you tried?
Three.
Three?
What it's boiling down to is they understand the ARPA funds and they know the deadline and stuff like that, so trying to stick with what people actually have in inventory, that they know they can put their hands on. We're not ordering, I don't know if it will be like the world with these Tahoes, stuff like that,
Years
2
now.
years out. So, but the only one I got was from Silsby Wheat Group. I think they're out of Austin. And, price is $50,246. As far as the F-150 like he's got.
Those
XL with power windows, locked front seats, wash out.
You don't do anything about power windows.
Yeah. Yeah, but that gives us an idea about what it's gonna be. I expect to get at least one more quote. The third one, I don't think they were interested. And one thing that, the sales chief rep said was that, by board, because they don't update their quotes, their bids, as often as some of these other boards, that he said that there are boards that he hoped that we were set up with, that offer better pricing than what you can get on by board.
You know, I mean, we do the HGAC.
HGAC, and one of them might be the Sourcewell, is that right?
The Sourcewell is not procured in the proper ways. Yes,
So
that's right.
I got it. Okay. I'll double check with them if they look at the HGAC.
All right, let's have a motion to table so we can continue to talk about this and it move along to wind up our funds.
Make that motion.
All in favor, aye. Motion carried. Item number 15 is to approve to receive a donation for inmate jumpers, clothing / in various sizes, over $8,800 in value that is donated by Gary Haston.
Yes, this comes from Sheehan and Gaston Auctioneers. He actually was raised in Workland, Texas, moved a long time ago. He hasn't been here in years, but he saw this as an opportunity. These jumpers actually are surplus from Travis County, and I guess his company was doing something, and he saw it as an opportunity to give back to his county that he originally came from, because they were available right then, and he took the opportunity, and he came here, met with Kelly Craig and myself, and donated. There's probably right at about 700 pieces of clothing in that deal. So it's a good donation. That's not cheap.
Have a motion?
I make a motion to accept. I'll say.
All in favor, aye. And tell him that we appreciate it very much.
Absolutely.
Very much. Good community service for us. Item number 16. You also have any kind of an appreciation card or anything to people that donate?
Yes, one of the things we do is we just kind of announce the donors and put it on social media and different stuff like that.
Okay. Item number 16 is approval for the Freestone County Jail, in quotes, that name, Freestone County Jail, to be put on the back of the shirts and jumpers that were donated out of it and be paid out of the inmate commissary funds.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Item number 17 is approval to purchase tactical equipment / firearms in approximately $31,000 amount that is needed for the individuals attending tactical training starting the first week in December with the SB 22 funds, and county can be reimbursed when funds come in.
Yes, ma'am. This is part of the stuff I was going to buy towards the end of last year, and we decided to get 2 cars. We had actually already even ordered half of it through CAPS to get it paid for, so he got half of it sitting there waiting on us to paint. But I explained to him what the deal was. So in the tactical training that we're going to be attending, this is just the first one. We've got about 4 scheduled. That's what we got received a grant for, as far as some tactical training, putting a TAC team together ourselves instead of having to wait valuable time to get people here. And this is equipment and firearms that we need to do that.
We need to look at what we had talked about on the funds allocation for this year. And at this point, we have 2 vehicles at upfitters that will have to be paid for.
Yes.
That'll be about 54,000. And then look at this, and let's talk about how we can,
Yes, I know we're paying 2, we got a jailer position, a deputy position, and 2 vehicles that we should be paying for out of this new SB 22 funds.
well, the things we have there, the 2 vehicles, the 2 positions, and the upfitters, we already are at more than what the grant amount is, which is $350, and that's $372. It might not be quite as much, not knowing how much those vehicles are going to be.
Yeah.
We don't have the vehicles, we can't pay for it.
Okay, here's the discrepancy. We're not figuring in that money because we thought that was coming out of last year's money. Because
Well, but
the
it
2
didn't, so it's
vehicles.
gonna have to come out of this money because we don't have it yet. We have to, it's not finished yet. So the auditors say we can't pay it.
Of course. Well, the problem is getting vehicles late.
So if we add the 30 onto it, that would be, 380,000 approximately. Just a thought, we've gotten a lot of vehicles. If we ever get those 4 coming in, we'll have 10 that are.
We'll have 10 vehicles in January if those 6 Tahoes come
It's
in.
got 6 that we're waiting on.
Yeah, we're waiting on 6 Tahoes.
We got to do, we bought back.
And so how many will we have bought in the last little while? Would it be 10?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. We got it on 10.
We've received
If they
4.
come in.
We've
We received 2 Tahoes, 2 Explorers, and we got 6 on the way.
There was not enough money last year in the SB 22. In fact, we went over $6,800 to have even paid for that cap.
For 2 more people, or for the two vehicles.
Well, we paid for the vehicles, but what we didn't pay for is the cap fleet upfitter because it's two different invoices. So we paid for the vehicles because Nessa's had them, we had the MSOs, but what we didn't pay for is where they're at right now.
Because they're freaking running behind.
And since we have 10 that are fairly new, if we get those, would we want to just get 1 new vehicle this year so that we could fund those other services?
Well, in the position I'm sitting in, yes. I mean, because I need that equipment to salvage this
I know that
training.
we had voted to do 2 each year, but this is kind of an unusual situation right
And
now.
what's happening is we are building up instead of staggering and getting
Yeah,
2 per year and eventually getting more. But 2
This should be loaded
2
up.
to 4 in and
Yeah.
taking 2
We
to
won't
4
be
out
on
to keep them all
good
in.
rotation if we
But
do
we're
that.
gonna wind up with a whole bunch.
Wearing out at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, we started rotating 2 out every year, and when I got it 18, 16, 17, but then you couldn't get them.
Right.
You want to rotate them out.
It's still the same problem right now.
Right.
It ain't working. We're taking them off.
So at this point, I know we had already voted to do 2 each year, but we could make an exception for this year since it's a different deal. Just
I
a
would-
suggestion.
I would be okay with that, because these guys that are going to this training are gonna need this equipment. And I got 4 scheduled, and I went and got this grant for this purpose, and I've got 4 scheduled trainings coming up,
Yeah.
so. I mean, gotta give up
That's
something,
kind
get
of what we
something.
talked about, that would work, we would make the money work.
I'm for that.
Yeah.
And then maybe after this year, we could go back to the 2 each year. And that way we can start staggering them, having new ones come in.
Can't believe you can't get it all. I can't believe it. It's amazing.
Was it in the end of 20, are we waiting on anything from ordered in 22?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the 2.
That's the
That's
We're
the
talking
4.
about
That's
this,
the
like a
four.
Ordered in 22, and then there's 2 that were ordered in 23.
Yeah, and those 4 were ordered out of ARPA,
Yeah,
and we're still waiting on them.
I
I shared that with Karen, right? You got that email I forwarded you as far as showing, you know, the delivery time
We
on
talked
them.
about that about the first meeting.
And that was, those 4 were out of that ARPA.
There's no update on those 4,
Yeah, they're part of the 2 that they're saying we might have in January.
so we might get 6 out of once.
Yes.
Which I doubt, but.
But
Maybe
we've
get
paid
one
for
to go
all
up on the
of
price
those.
of them again.
We've paid for all of those.
The 2, not the 4. But that
That's
comes
in the
out
ARPA
of
money, so that's designated, I guess you'd
It
say.
is.
Yeah. It's taken care of, all the money's taken care of.
Everybody has-
Those.
Hello?
Unless they go up on them.
There you go.
Yeah, unless they go up, now if they go up after January 1, then it isn't earmarked, so we'll have to dig in the pocket.
The way it's set up, unfortunately, is, you know, people's budgets just about all go in at the same time. Well, what is everybody doing? They're going to buy a new fleet, and then we're up against Houston and Dallas and everybody else because, and we're behind them. That's the big payday for these guys. And there may be 300 cars sitting in front of us, and we only got 6, you know? So they're trying to get them 300 and get that big payday, and our 6 just sit there. That's kind of what happens. We're just all going in, trying to get everything done at once, and they just have a bigger.
So what we may think about, or at least think of this idea, is changing up and ordering early, even though we're not in that budget. Let's anticipate that, because September, October, when those orders go in, like the sheriff says, you have these larger agencies that put 200-300 cars in, and we come in with 2 or 4. Well, we're in the back of the line because we're just pennies to those people. So just maybe a thought process of changing up on when we pull the trigger on ordering cars.
And the thing about that problem is we gotta do it in our SB 22 funds. So then we're restricted to a time frame period then too, so it's kind of tough to navigate. But that's also why we're looking at other options, if we can have other options, because we can't keep doing this.
But for right now,
Right now, you need a motion.
yes, to only, for this time, to only buy 1 car out of SB 22. And then, since we already had made that motion and said that that would be our pattern, I think that would be good. For us to change that for this year, to just buy 1. And then we have extra money that you can delegate to.
And we'll need to know, do y'all have a quote or anything on the one that
I've ordered, I've requested that, he hasn't gotten it to me, so
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the approximate so that they can?
it's probably gonna be with the vehicle and up there right around 90,000. Yeah.
Do we have a motion?
I like that motion.
Thanks.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, aye. Motion carried. All right.
And then do we
When you
need a
get the-
motion on purchasing the equipment as well? No.
I think that's on it.
Number 17.
Yeah, we need to go back on it.
Yeah, that motion that I just made was for item 18, I believe.
Yes.
So we're gonna purchase one
Wait just a minute now.
Ford Explorer and 1 Dodge, or we're gonna, it says 2 on here.
Actually, we're on 17.
That we need to do
We're just
18
gonna purchase
before
one,
17.
That's right, because we didn't know we were gonna do that. We could have put it the wrong way.
Yeah.
But for 18, that was to purchase 1 vehicle. And I don't know that we have to designate which vehicle,
Okay.
just 1 vehicle, because things may have changed. And you, yeah.
And our thought process in that was which one was gonna be the better one for us, if that's what we
Yeah.
ended up going to.
And that was item number 18, was to purchase 1 vehicle out of SB 22 for this year. All right, and we'll go back to 17, which is to approve the purchase of tactical equipment or firearms that are needed for tactical training out of the SB 22 funds.
I like that motion.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Motion carried.
Thank you.
Okay. Now we're on number 19, resolution for the Texas Indigent Defense Commission Program grant. We do this every year. We do provide indigent defense attorneys. If people qualify under the guidelines, then an attorney is furnished to them. And we get every year some funds back from the Texas Indigent Defense Commission. We don't ever know at this time exactly how much that is going to be.
It's usually, we just received from last time about 26,000, so, I mean, it is a little bit, it helps.
Each county is eligible to receive 15,000 plus its share of the remaining funds, so we don't know how much it'll be, but anyway, do we have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
And the motion is to approve the resolution for the Indigent Defense Grant Program.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carried. All right. Number 20, security cameras.
Looking at the two locations, senior services and the Teague Annex. I've got proposal for both of them. We have completed the installation at the JP offices here in Fairfield, and somehow it turned out short on there. And it didn't look that short there, but well, I give one to you. So there's two locations here. All the installs have been done. Up to date, JP offices, the voter's office, tax office, all completed. This is for senior services and for the Teague operation. Went and evaluated, kind of looked at them. Teague has got, they have a camera system, but it's just in kind of an internal system, okay? It's like, nobody can see it. It's set up in the judge's office, and so they can kind of see inside the building, but there's nobody can see outside the building. So this would put the panic buttons, the camera with parameter. Now, when we were looking at it, the back side of the building, there's nothing really to watch on the back side. There's a couple of air conditioning units, so we're not placing a camera there and not placing one on the west side of the building, which is where the old drive-through used to be. There's no points of entry. So basically got the front, the back, and the interior where they put in the new file room, and then a camera on the interior file room, which also gives us inside view. So, and then that's on the Teague office. On the senior services, they really don't have, they hadn't historically had anything down there. Went through it. There's cameras on the back of the school that I hadn't talked to the school, but you can see them, so they're getting view of the backside of senior services. So we're basically looking at the front, the side where they go into the kitchen access, because that's a big access point. On the far right-hand side of the corner, we'll be viewing the front of the building and that other side, okay? And then there will be a camera in the kitchen area, because that's obviously a place of exposure for the county. But there'd be one place inside the kitchen, and then one inside the dining area, just looking back towards that front door. I recommend that we consider doing these things. Once again, I'm just proposing it to you guys. If y'all believe
After these two buildings, what will we have left?
What we'd have left outside of what's here on the square, inside the square, these four corners here, I'm going to be over at the DA's office this afternoon around 1 o'clock to evaluate their facility. Probably just a couple of cameras, I'm guessing, probably an entry, maybe one in the back and one in front, probably 3 cameras, I'm guessing. And then we'll have and go down and look at Clyde's barn, hopefully this afternoon as well. And then we have the big, the new federal building. Now, outside of that, the courthouse, county clerk, and the sheriff's office is all pretty much under camera currently, okay? That system is very unstable, but we'll cross that road when we get there. I'm trying to get these outside perimeter buildings so we don't have any visibility of. And this is, once again, this is considered as a 5-year contract. We're buying it, same as the previous, 5-year contract, 10-year warranty, paid once and we're done for 5 years.
Larry, be able to look at everything?
We will, as we pull in the last of, like Will's building, the DA's office, and I'm probably gonna present to you guys about getting a monitor, a bigger monitor for Larry, maybe a pair of them, so we can extend these cameras for visibility, because he's still viewing what we currently have, obviously, the courthouse grounds, but then he'll be able to view everything across the county at most of all our facilities where we have it installed. Yes.
We'll get on the money.
Where are we gonna pay for that from? I guess capital outlay.
That was a yes.
Well, we good on the money?
Yes. I took it as a yes. We're getting there. We'll get these two and a couple more places to go.
And I'm sure we do, we're just thinking about what all we have,
Time of
update on
year.
where we are, and that way for the next project, we'll,
Right.
yeah.
It's the beginning of the year, so feeling
Right.
pretty good about everything.
Yeah.
I got some tax statements in the mail yesterday.
I mean, Will's Clyde's building's gonna be, at the DA and Clyde's is gonna be,
Well, that part can come out of his budget.
yeah,
so we
that's
won't
not gonna
care.
be.
What's that fund, 84? Let that catch all.
86.
86, that's what it's come out of, 86.
The ones that's gonna get into expensive, is probably gonna be our most expensive, of all, is gonna be the federal building.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Clydesville.
Which, I mean, that's gonna be, which that will probably, we got so many departments, we got probation, we're looking at, obviously.
We'll talk about that, yeah.
Okay, but anyway,
We'll need to get that
okay,
lined up, yeah.
yes, we'll go through it.
I make a motion to move forward with 2 quotes from Novo Emergency Solutions for the courthouse.
Well, when you look at it, it looks like it's more, it's a lot, but, well, not a lot, but it's a large number, but, I mean, 16,000, but it's for 5 years.
$275 a month
Yeah.
for 5 years. An additional 5-year warranty.
Well, additional 5-year warranty. And one of the things also, and I hadn't really got with Karen on this, but something to keep in mind is, just because of the way we've been rolling these things out, say the first one that we put in the tax office in July, I believe it was, just the way that they, from their accounting standpoint, when we're signing these agreements every couple of months or every month or two, it seems like, you probably haven't received a bill from them yet. What they're gonna do is they're gonna carry forward till when we get the last one, so we're kind of getting free use of the system in that
We're
initial
gonna get more than
6
5
months.
years, we're saying.
Yeah, correct.
That was in there, Rick.
Most
So
of
do we
it's,
need to take?
Well, that's just the way it was explained to me, how they do it.
most of it's gonna be all within the same budget, so.
Yeah.
Remember that, yeah, okay. Did we have a motion? Did we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, aye. Any opposed? None, motion carries. All right. We're gonna talk about the net data, 13 vertical data conversion.
Yes. So, and actually, that should have probably been titled, instead of conversion, it should have been the net data extraction. Okay, this is all on the net data side. It's not a conversion part of the data, it's the extraction part of the data. We sent the letter to,
Which means what?
which
What's the
means,
difference in-
the difference is the extraction is just getting the data out of net data. The conversion will actually take place from the hill country side or the LGS side.
Yes, okay, that makes
Okay,
sense.
so this is the extraction side.
Extraction.
So in the agreement, and I'm sorry, I hadn't handed these out.
Can you, all
Okay.
right, when you talk about extraction, could you just do an extraction of the whole system, one extraction?
No, well, because of the way that they sold the system, the way it was designed, it's in modules. So the way that they're,
Modules, yes.
yeah, they're basically,
That's the way that they bill us.
that's the way they
by
sell it,
module.
is by module. So that's the way that that's the way that they're gonna kind of give you two things here. One's gonna be, this is this is the current, the one with the logo on top of it is what they're asking us for on the extraction side of things. The other is our original agreement that was executed. Basically, they gave us 2 extractions for each module as part of the agreement.
For each module?
For each module.
Oh, okay.
Once again, I'm still
What is
trying to get my head around
If they
this.
gave us 2 extractions for each module, could you do
Well-
one extraction on that module and it be done?
Yeah,
Why
well,
would you do it as 2 extractions?
okay, because
Okay.
what they're gonna do is they're gonna come in, we're gonna do an initial extraction, say, today, the letter we sent, we're asking for our extraction data. So they're gonna extract it, say, November 1st, whatever that date is. So we're gonna take that data, we're gonna start doing the data conversion, we're gonna start doing the migration in with LGS. Then when we get to, say, January timeframe, we're getting closer to going live. There's this gap of data that wasn't extracted originally, so that's extraction number 2.
It's like you're cleaning it up.
Well, it's just picking up,
Updating.
picking up the latest
Okay.
entries from what we had
Okay.
previously.
And then we'll be through with net data. 2 extractions because we're going live on the other.
Right, well, we're not gonna be completely wrong with not data because we still got treasury, auditor,
I mean, the
and
module,
sheriff.
if we're talking about one
As far as the
module.
extraction of the modules, that's correct. Once we get to two extractions, the initial and the secondary. So,
So based on that, it wouldn't cost us anything else. You said 2 extractions
yeah,
per module?
and like I say, I'm still trying to,
I know.
this is all coming to me,
I'm just
this is all
trying to
coming
get
to
it
me really
straight-
fast, but
straight
from there's I've got a letter, and I should have brought it as part of the agreements, but what they're saying is that we've got the,
I don't
we
mean to be
basically
putting
got
you
half,
on the.
no, I'm trying to get, because
I just don't
this is all coming up real quick, but what they're basically saying in this agreement, I have a letter, they're basically saying that they want, that they're gonna need, that the initial extraction was gonna be covered, and then the secondary, or whatever the second is gonna be $7,500 each, which they were saying we're gonna need 4. It goes back to something, one other module that I don't even know if you guys are using or not for hot checks. Okay, so that will probably just kind of come off the table, okay? So what they're doing is they're basically sending us this agreement that is here. This is the agreement they sent the other day that's asking for $30,000 for 4 additional extractions.
This says for eight extractions on here. How many modules are there?
There's a list of them,
That's 9 on that list, but we're not using all 9.
but we're not using the hot check deal. And we're not using, in other words, like e-file shouldn't be extracted.
How many are there in the county clerk's office? How many different modules?
Well, the way it reads here, we got county clerk, district clerk, we got the judicial management, which would be probably Brian and the judges, or well, it wouldn't be Brian, it'd be district, and then we got DA. So the law enforcement suite's not gonna be part of it, the hot checks ain't gonna be part of it, so there's 4 of them.
What about the e-file?
E-file's on here, but that's, I think, just included as part of that transfer
Because I know
that
we pay a separate thing for them.
for e-file, to e-file probably.
No, we pay to Net Data
Okay.
for e-file. We pay
But is it?
for the district clerk and the county clerk separately. So there's a separate thing that we pay every,
Yeah, well, but I don't think we're gonna be pulling a data extraction on it.
okay.
And so there's not gonna be.
Only just for use of the system.
Right,
because-
that's what I'm,
Because they're not recording all that.
right. So, in other words, what I'm trying to do is get in front of the board the documents. I'm not asking us to make any decisions on this. I want to get it out there, everybody understand that this is on the table. You have the language within the original agreement, which I should give Brian a copy of these, I'm sorry about that. That's what we're looking at.
Yeah, but we'll went through with them.
Oh, yeah. You can have your information, but.
But the way the original terminology in the agreement was written, that as part of the termination, we have to give them 60 days. We give them 60-day notice, and then they're going to come in and, so much on my mind, I'm just like going blank with all this.
Looking at it, it seemed like we had the original agreement, but now they're coming in and wanting us to do a different agreement.
No, I don't think it's, all it is it's basically part of the termination. We had the original agreement, and what I was gonna say is the way that it was written, I brought this here for sale, I just so I can look at the way this was worded. So they're saying that, additional extractions, it says here, that, this is gonna be on the second page of the initial agreement, down at the bottom, section 4, the very bottom, it says net data should provide no more than 2 data extractions at no additional cost to the client. So I guess they are looking at it as a whole system is what they're doing. I'm just don't have my head wrapped around the way they're looking at it, I guess. Then, extractions that's for no cost. And then additional extractions here under are invoice to client at the standard hourly billing rate, okay? This is what's concerns me, because they're basically saying, I'm gonna give you 2, but the other's gonna be billed at hourly rate. Well, they're just kind of flat rating this at $7,500 a piece, right? And I do not believe that second extraction, which is gonna be a smaller area, it's not gonna take them that long to do it. This is a computer, it's gonna pull that data, okay? They're not really converting the data, they're extracting the data. The conversion is what's more difficult. The extraction is just like when you put a thumb drive in and say file saved, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be in a certain file format. But my argument would be, well, what is your hourly rate? Don't just flatline me at $7,500.
Yeah.
We're having
This deal right here is showing 8 extractions, which would be $3,750.
but they're giving you 2 free per module. So that's your
Per module.
Well,
They're giving you
and I
10
say per
free
module.
We ought to be able to give each module
But
one
that
or 2
leaves, if that
extractions.
leaves 6, then that's 5,000.
It's confusing right in there.
It
That's what we
is,
need to
so
know.
just, all this is practice, so just looking at it, net data, this is the original. Net data shall provide no more than 2 data extractions at no additional charge to client. Not per module, that to me reads 2 extractions.
Right, 2
So,
extractions.
so you got, I'm not looking at the modules, but if you have 8 modules, you can do one of those for free, right? 'Cause you got your first extraction, then you got your cleanup extraction, there's your 2 free ones, and it looks like we might be paying for the rest. I don't know that for sure.
See, I'm reading that as the whole system. Because we were covering the whole system. I know, I may be.
I like the way she reads it.
Well, that's what it comes down to.
I'm just saying there's no per module language in here.
Correct.
This just says 2 extractions.
Yeah,
So if we need 16 extractions, we get 2 free. That,
okay, but I'm reading it like the first extraction is for all those modules.
I
The
would,
whole system.
that easily can, it's vague.
It's vague. Yeah.
I agree with that. I'm just, what, I think they are reading it my way as to why you are getting a bill for
Yes.
additional
Yes.
extractions.
Yeah.
If we want to read it our way, then we have to have a conversation with them to read it our way.
Yes.
But that,
I think they would put
Montague in there.
You
It just makes-
didn't let Andy Bonner talk to.
I was thinking more Brian Evans.
It just makes sense why we have,
Bonner before they get.
why we have Bill, I guess.
But we hadn't gotten Bill, we hadn't performed the work yet. We sent a basically a notification letter,
That's right.
demanding that, give it a notification.
It's right.
And the data start to be extracted. And that's what's driving this.
But we still have, they are the ones that do that.
I had gotten, they're telling me after the first year, I'm gonna have to get out of
It
it.
didn't mention modules, so.
But,
Contract.
and see, Brian, and this is another thing, Brian, you start going down that road, you take the lead on this 60-day, what they're saying is after that last extraction, it's 60 days, but in time to do that last extraction, you should have LPS up and just import it and just keeps on going, right? But there's, it's like, they're saying after that final extraction, after 60 days, they can basically trash all our data and they have no further responsibility to us, which is a little worrisome the way we operate. But the sheriff's office will still stay on, the treasurer's office will stay on, the auditors will stay on.
When it's talking about in this agreement, it just describes the services that they are providing. And I didn't see any place that they talked about one module being separate from the rest, you know, by module.
Right.
I can't even turn one on, but why can't you stick a thumb drive in there and hit the button and get your own data?
Well, to be honest with you, I mean, this system is so old, it's not that simple, and that's the reason we're trying to get away from it.
That's what I said, I don't know, but that.
What are you paying all these people for?
Sir?
I said, why are you paying all these people? I say the same thing.
We're kind of at their mercy, they hold the data, we don't, and we just, you know, it's kind of, you know, you kind of, I mean, we can make the argument, make our case, and I think it's gonna be better to come from Brian, because I'm just kind of the commercial side of things, right? I'm just kind of trying to make things happen. This is gonna get more into legalities, and when I was awaiting this document, it was indicated that they had to run it through like their legal or whatever before they sent it to me, so it took a couple of days to get it over to me.
Modules in our service level agreement.
It just talks about these systems.
Yeah. And it covers the systems in the contract that we're using.
And that's what our thoughts were.
Well, and something else to keep in mind, Brian, is
Services, that's it.
as we're going through this, something to keep in mind, the original agreement, I think, was probably signed under net data. Obviously, they've been bought out, so there's new owners, there's new players that have gotten this corporate conglomerate now from where it was original.
It's still the same.
I agree with you. I know, I agree with
Secretary
you.
on this one.
Still the same.
I think they made this up.
That's the one they're wanting to.
Right, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Just seems like an awful lot of money for what, that work's not gonna take that long. I mean, I can see maybe paying $5 grand, but that's about it.
On page 2, it just talks about net data shall take commercially responsible steps to make available to the client a copy of all client data in electronic form. NetData shall provide no more than 2 data extractions.
Well, you can listen, whatever it is.
It's really the way you read it. It's on what side of the coin you're on.
If you have 4 trucks, and I say when you replace your tires, we'll give you 2 tires, it's not 2 tires per truck, I'm giving you 2 tires, right? I think that's the way they're reading it, is that you got all these modules, I'm providing 2 extractions.
Now, here's the other thing to consider, if we make this argument, if we're going to challenge, which, you know, I think we will, but something that is leverage that we should throw up is, one is we paid in September, paid in full for the whole 12 months. We're going to stop utilizing these in January-ish, February-ish. So we're not getting benefit of 6 months of what we were kind of forced to pay to stay in compliance. We've made the best effort on everything to stay in compliance with the agreement. So they're getting that 6 months going forward, where we may be off the system. So whatever that value is, whatever we're paying them, is, hey, just let's offset it, call it even, you know?
Well, and we are still using their services.
Yes.
For some things.
That's a big argument, that we're still clients.
We're still
Right.
clients.
And that we can take our business elsewhere when it comes to those
We'll have to
services.
pay, if we separate that out, then when we do change NetData late to something else from whatever this company thing is now, we'll have to pay for an extraction then. Because that'll be a separate, we'll have already used our extractions, but.
Right.
So that's interesting. So we kind of continue on their own contract.
And
Anyway,
and the sheriff's office is gonna be, under retainer. I don't know what I talked to them briefly about that, because I was talking to them about, you know, extraction, and so we're paying like $20,000. What was that number, 30-something thousand this year for the sheriff's office, just for, which they were charging record retention. Our extraction is a fraction of what, right, of what if them retaining the file. And of course, they're hosting it, right? But they said that typically on the sheriff's office, they said that that's not unusual for sheriff offices to do that, but it's typically for only 2 to 3 years. Is that kind of where your head's at, or how long are you looking for them to continue to host your data going forward after we go live with eForce? 2 or 3 years? Are you talking about infinity, or where's your head at?
Well, we definitely need it up probably for at least a year, because it may take us that long to try.
2 to 3 years is what they're saying is typical, but at 2 to 3 years, at $30,000, we're talking about almost $100,000 just for them to hold our archive, or just that department, right? And I'm not knocking what you're doing, because that's somewhat typical of the way this is done. But if we could extract that data, maybe get it free, you ain't got your extractions yet, and either migrate it into eForce, but then we go into a data conversion with eForce. But overall, that's probably going to be cheaper than retaining it for 3 years, say, on that file, on their server, and then in the 3 years we just lose that data. We might be better to consider extracting that data, forget whatever the financial, I'm not sure what those numbers are going to shake out at, have it converted, have it put into eForce, then you never lose your data, right? Similar to what we're doing with these other departments, what we're going through right here.
It'd be cheaper to get it out now than to wait 3 years to get it out.
Yeah, but at the end of 3 years, you're probably not, you paid $100,000 now, and you know. And
Well, we'll just have to look at how much we have to pay for each.
How much are we paying that
Yes.
data? Just last
This.
yearly?
I'll have to go look, but it's quite a bit. I mean,
It's
it's a
really-
But
whole.
it went up a lot because
Talks
in
about
the 2020
extractions.
contract that's valid right now, it shows that our payment was $20,150 a year.
That was probably for the cloud
Yeah,
hosting.
the cloud is that much. But
The
we
cloud
paid about
itself, but not
100,000.
each one of the modules. I mean, it's like 100,000 or more.
Extractions is the labor of events in which digital context is extracted on behalf of the client's request and not defined in terms of quantity, dissemination methods, or storage devices. No Not that that necessarily makes it any clearer.
It kind of helps I think that does help our argument more.
I mean, they'll look at it from the other way, but I mean, that's just, it's just not clear.
I voted that way.
So I'm sticking to another thing.
Yeah. I think we have a good argument. And you can argue so good.
Thank you. I
There you
appreciate
go.
that.
Put together on that.
Okay.
Give it a shot.
So you
At
get,
least get it, let me rephrase that, that's a bad way to put it. We'll get a lay of the land. We'll talk to them, see why they're looking at charging us was that what it is, $30,000 for extractions, when we feel like the extractions should be covered based on the first contract, and see what they say. And then we'll go from there.
Once you hear from them, then you'll know what they're
What they're,
thinking.
yes,
And they'll know what we're thinking.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
we'll be-
Need a motion to table on the 21?
Yes.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor? 22, internet security.
I'm dealing with it.
I'm done, we got nothing on this, do we?
Good.
Uh,
Fall out for the day.
Yeah.
We have one last item on the agenda, I believe, and that's
Yes,
going
sir.
to be tabled. I've been chasing, trying to get this information together, but it's all around the cybersecurity side of things as we're changing out the switches. Looking at what I'm trying to do, and part of the reason it's taken, I'm going to be on a call hopefully this week, once again with engineers and cybersecurity specialists for compliance around FIPS, like FIPS requirements and things like this, to get into firewalls and the way the data moves across the system, especially as we're going to laptops and things of this nature. So we're going to table that until I get some quotes and submit it to you.
I'll make a motion to table number 20, item 22.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Yes.
These are stuff, so there's a different,
Oh,
they say we have different sensors.
You received through your office an invitation to the Veterans
All the
Park
different systems.
ceremony.
I don't know, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I called her to
Maybe
make sure we got it, make sure we were all inside, and, I think it's 10 o'clock.
On Monday, Monday.
11. Yeah, November 11th.
What is it?
They're having a ceremony at the Veterans Park here in Tioga by the hospital, and, at 11 o'clock.
Whether it's
Just to make sure we were all,
But then-
he sent an invitation.
I'll put it on.
What's the date on our,
That's all, I picked it up. That's all.
November the 14th.
November 14th?
Yeah.
So on this one,
That's what calendar, because
What is that?
depending on what it is.
That's when we'll receive our section of the flag.
And we need to get our,
I'm gonna get it over there, I got it. You talking about that?
yes,
Yeah, okay.
great, thank you.
You remind, when I saw that, it reminded me.
CASA,
All right.
CASA had a real nice thing for the kids out there Saturday, skeet shoot.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I don't really know how to proceed.
We'll figure it
Yeah,
out.
well, I'll just apply it.
Yeah.
You want to begin to say,
I'll
yeah,
get started right there.
where am I?
I'll call you.
Okay.
That work?
Yes, sir.
I'll try to
Thank
make it.
you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir.
Already, all right.
Thank you for
Thank you,
opening the
sir.
door. Oh, it's already gone.
What about Paulson?
Thank you for opening the door for me. That is a very nice
CASA,
gentleman.
skeet shoots.
You want a mattress?
I had a lady
I'll
who
tell you
came back
that.
from California recently.
Yes, ship
and
is
she
that-
commented on that. She said, you know, there's little boys at the grocery store that hold the door open. I've never seen anything like that. That's nice to hear. No such thing as chivalry anymore.
Thank you.
Okay,
Are we done?
I was just trying to say, Casa had a ski shoot, a big thing out at, kids that we got and stuff. It was really nice. Jeremy, Jeremy was there.
What?
The Casa deal that you were at, it was a big turnout.
About process ski shoot? Yep, for the first one, it was good turnout, there was 22 teams.
Bunch of kids, bunch of good stuff. Got good sponsors, a lot of people sponsored it.